Hello and welcome everyone to our casual coffee chats. This year is the 16th annual Canadian Holistic Nutrition Conference. And this year we're talking about nourishing our future, exploring the science and power of nutrition. And today I have the pleasure of chatting with Lucy Sharratt from Canadian Biotechnology Action Network is where you're from, correct? I got that right?
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about what that is.
thank you. Yeah, it's a very exciting community of groups across the country. So it's a network of actually 15 organizations, including environmental groups and farmer associations, social justice groups, and grassroots groups at the community level who've come together in regional coalitions. So it's really dynamic and brings together people who have a lot of different experience and different perspectives to share.
Exciting. Wow. Yeah. And what a great piece of work. Now, this year you'll be talking at the conference about will genetic engineering nourish us? So can you tell us a little bit about why you're passionate about that topic?
Yeah, so I work with the Canadian Biotechnology Action Network, and we monitor the issue of genetic engineering, which is a mandate that came about because there's so little information about genetic engineering.
Mhm.
And we really do feel that that's important to make sure people have information and accurate information in this about this technology that's essentially hidden from us by a lack of labeling.
Mhm.
That's one way that it's hidden, one very obvious way. And so, really, we see the issue as one that's characterized by control. Corporate control is a major preoccupation.
Mhm.
And when we look at how we want to have discussions about genetic engineering, how we want to make decisions about the use of the technology, there's just such a lack of information, and so much of the information is controlled by the companies that sell and promote the technology. So certainly we're really passionate about making sure people have the informational tools that they need to make their own decisions, and that of course would be everyday consumers and the people who advise them about nutrition and life choices.
Mhm. I mean, you're speaking to a whole group nationally of holistic nutrition coaches and nutritionists, and we're all passionate about that. But it is hard sometimes to find good, solid research information to provide our clients when we're asked about that impact of that on the food that they're choosing. It can be hard to find that. So I know everyone will be very excited about your presentation. Now, what can we expect to learn a little bit in your presentation this year?
Yeah, well, certainly I can provide some of the basic information that everyone needs and wants as
Mhm.
a starting point so that we all know that genetic engineering is not everywhere. Of
Mhm.
course, it's so much part of processed food ingredients. And the big question is what's next? Are fruits and vegetables genetically engineered or will they be? And certainly there's a lot of discussion about the new wave of techniques of gene editing and how that could change the role of genetic engineering in our lives, that it could go beyond processed food ingredients into the produce aisle. So that's the beginning of a discussion about the future of genetic engineering, but also the character of what we have in front of us.
Mhm.
That if we want to talk about food and farming as nourishing us, the reality of genetic engineering at the moment is the reality of chemical industrial farming, and that all of the genetically engineered crops that are grown in Canada have herbicide tolerant traits. So they're explicitly designed to be used with brand name herbicides. And that it's just reality that herbicide sales in Canada have increased by 234% since the introduction of genetically engineered crops. And it's a defining feature of the technology now. And I think that could help us understand how the technology is being used now and its potential health impacts and environmental health impacts, but also who's controlling the technology and what's next. Because there are promises about genetic engineering providing more nutritional foods,
Mhm.
and there's promises that are explicit about better foods, making nature even better. And so we have this promotion of, for example, the genetically modified non browning apple, which isn't yet sold in Canada, but could be even by the time of the conference. And the promise is that people will eat more apples if it's more convenient. And so instead of having whole apples, this company is genetically engineering apples so that they could be sliced and presented in small plastic bags for you to give to your child to take to school lunches. And certainly the company wants to promote the eating of apples at schools via genetically engineered apples in slices. This non-browning apple that, you know, when we know that non-browning is available to everyone in their kitchen through the use of lemon juice or just eating smaller apples. And so it's a really good example of how we actually have the tools in front of us to solve a problem that this company is saying exists for them to solve, to sell back to us through genetic engineering.
Right, right. Now, I mean, we know that food costs are high. You know, as again, you're speaking to all the nutritionists out there and nutrition coaches. You know, we hear from our clients food is costly. We want things that are easy and convenient. You know, will you be providing in your presentation maybe some tangible tips that we can take away and we can take some action to really inform our clients as consumers? Are there things in your presentation we can help? We can be part of the solution as solution too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a really important partnership and discussion to have with nutritionists about what are the key foods that people could seek out that would be the foods that would avoid genetic engineering,
Mhm.
or what are the key foods that people could seek that are organic that would make a big difference, not only to their health perhaps, but to the food and farming system, that there are certain products in the chain of our lives, but also farmers' lives that make a big difference. And I think that is something that we could have some really exciting discussions about based in the reality now and what we project into the future so that we can all be a part of making change when there's such an agenda to try and diminish our choices and diminish our agency, that we can take that back and make then our 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 choices that are healthier, and that perhaps together we could create a more nourishing food and farming system.
Well, I am so excited for your presentation and the conversation. I can't wait to hear. Now, thank you so much for coming and chatting with us today. A reminder to everyone, you are going to want to grab your tickets and save your spot. We have our early bird ticket sales for our 2024 conference are now available. That will be in both Calgary and Toronto this year. Thank you so much for your time, Lucy. I cannot wait to hear your presentation and learn what we can do to take action and be part of the solution.
I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.